Hey guys, Hippie Hollow One here. Welcome back to another video, and today we've got something well out of my era. This is Lionel 6-18261. It is a conventional only Burlington Northern SD-60, and it's got some cosmetic issues that I'm going to be correcting today. Alright, so let's give this thing a look-see-loo here. So it's number 9412. This is, I believe, so I have a cab for 9413. I'll get into why in a second, and I also have some lights. But I think 9413 was the command version. It was either the command or the unpowered version. I can't remember which. But this engine's actually really nice. I like the handrails. The windows don't move. The flaps don't move. The doors do open, though, which is one of the issues. You can see that the hinge, or the top hinge on the conductor side door is missing, which is why I got this cab, so I could take one part off of it, because obviously that doesn't exist, or I could just switch over the number boards and just reuse this whole unit, which would be really nice and handy. It's also got a cracked walkway up here. Like, the whole frame is split right through the middle, and I've tried correcting it, and there's really not a whole lot that can be done. For some reason, this whole section of the frame is under load, and I'd really need to like clamp it for like a good day or two, I think, to let the glue fully cure in order for this to stay fixed. I don't have clamps right now, so that's just the way that that's going to be until I do get clamps, and then I'll actually fix it correctly. And then the last issue is with the front ditch lights. Neither of these work. So the lights that I got as a replacement are all four of the front lights. They're grain of wheat bulbs, if I remember correctly. And I'm just going to replace the whole front lighting assembly, because, you know, why not? It's easier than just replacing the bottom two. So let's get the shell off and dig in. So getting the shell off is pretty standard. There's 4 screws. One on each corner. I lied. There's actually 2 more screws right behind the front truck. And now the shell comes off, but it's double side taped to the frame. Mine's going to be relatively easy to get off because I've already taken it off once. But the first time I tried to take this off, it was a fight. So, shell's off now. I can put the frame, or I can put the chassis, I guess, aside, since I'm not really working on that. All the work I have to do is on this guy. And as you can see, the door actually came out because it doesn't have that top hinge. So I guess I'll start by trying to figure out how to separate the cab from the rest of the frame. And I'll let you know when I figure that out. Okay, that was not fun at all. It did not want to let go. Basically, you just have to first of all, remove the handrails, and then keep wiggling at it and prying at it and using screwdrivers to break tabs loose, and you just keep working at it for a while, and then eventually it just decides it wants to come off. So yeah, so that's where we're at now. I did take out the headlights. These will hold the cab on if you haven't, disconnected them. But yeah, so now that this cab is off, I can switch the number boards out and the crew figure and move that over to this cab, and then slide this cab onto the shell. By the way, getting the number boards out is actually fairly simple. You just kind of stick a screwdriver in here and poke at them, and I've somehow managed to remove the whole front assembly, but sure, that also works. Can I do that on this unit too? Because that was easy. The answer is no. So, back to the original plan. Let's push these out. These ones are held in a lot tighter than the other ones were. The other ones just kind of popped out. For some reason, these ones don't want to do that. Jeez. There we go. There's one. Holy cow. Okay. And there's two. Oofta. That was not enjoyable. Okay. Let's put the 9413 boards in what is now the spare cab. Like that. And then the 9412 boards will go in the new cab. Like that. All right, so now I got to put the lights back in, but as I said, I've got new lights. So let's crack these open. And as you can see, I've got 1.5 miles of wire. So let's just pick two, which seems like it's going to be these two because they want to stick together. Separate them from the other two and run these up into the cab here, which I am now realizing is going to be very difficult because I can't remove that front piece. Oh boy. Okay, well, see if I can figure out how to do this now. You can absolutely tell that it was just kind of like a fitment, like, oh, does it feel tight? If it feels tight, then just leave it. If it doesn't feel tight, add glue, sort of thing. Because these ones are 100% glued, and the other ones were not. All right. Got it. Holy cow. Okay, what was I doing? Lights. All right. There's no lenses for these, right? Oh, there are. Are they in here? Yeah, they are. Okay, we're good. Now let's run our full lighting back through. Push our wires up into their connector, or into the holder that's on the top of the cab here. Figure out how they want to actually sit in. There we go. Sweet. So I've got a cab now that's got a door. And now I need to transfer over this gentleman, and that is actually going to be easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Let's grab a little bit of super glue here. What side of the cab was he on? The correct side of the cab. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to let that sit and dry for a second, and I'll start pulling out the ditch lights. All right, so I got the ditch light and cab light assembly wiring thing out. By the way, this is how they connect them to the shell. I don't understand why they don't do this more often. I'm sure it's got issues, but like this is really nice to not have to disconnect harnesses when you want to take the shell off. I know MTH has done this for a while. I don't know if they still do it on their newest stuff, but I don't know. But anyway, so now that that's done, and this is reasonably cured, let's slide this cap back on here. Okay, that was way easier than taking it off. Let's run these handrails back in. All right, that one's stubborn. So I've got a tool for this. It's called a pin vise. Haven't actually gotten to use it yet. This is all it is. It's just a little hand drill and some super tiny drill bits. So, okay, let's try. I don't know. We'll try number 9. Yeah, it might be close enough. Nope. Bigger. Let's go for a 12, perhaps. Oh, yeah. Way better. Okay. Hopefully I don't need to do that again. And last one. There we go. New cab is on with the correct numbers. I'm going to try and get it fully seated here. There we go. All right, clicked into place. So now let's get our ditch lights, poke our ditch lights into their housings. I'm missing a lens on one side. If I had like clear acrylic or styrene, something that was thin enough to go through with a leather punch, and I had a leather punch that was the correct size, I could just punch out a lens. But I don't have any of those things right now. So this is how this is going to be until I get those tools. And I do need to remount one of these little clips that goes right behind the cab. This just kind of fell out when I was taking the wires out. So let's go do that. Okay, got that installed. So now we can run all these wires up and through. You know what? I just remembered that these wires have to go through this little side clip first. Okay, now that that's out of the way. So now that those are all run in, I'm going to tape down some of the excess, which is what they did from the factory, because go figure. If you got too much of something, just tape it away. Seemed to be the philosophy back then. Okay, now that the tape's in, I can plug in this connector like that, and then slide this sprung connector thing back onto the screw mount. And then now I should just be able to put the shell back on and test it out. Okay. Again, don't test it until it's all the way back together, because efficiency. That way when something is inevitably broken, you can take out all of the screws again. Alrighty. Okay. Let's fire it up, try it out. Alright, let's power it up here and see what we got. Oh yeah, we got ditch lights and headlights and even slight number boards. That's awesome. Okay, let's see if it moves. Yep, we got forward and reverse. Sweet, and if you want to know what it sounds like, it's not awful. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, cool. I'd say that is fixed. So there you have it. That was my cosmetic repair of this BN SD-60. Overall, I hope I never ever have to do that ever again. That was not fun in any way, shape, or form. But it's done now, and it looks good, and that's what matters. So this is going to go back to my friend, and we're going to move on to the next project. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for easier ways to work on this kind of stuff, like an easier way to get the cab off or take the number boards off, please leave it in the comments. I would love to hear it. I'm sure I'm going to be working on an engine similar to this at some point in the future. So any tips or tricks that you have, I'm all ears, because that was terrible. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I am CW Hollow One, and have a good day, or maybe good night in your case. See ya.